Hi everyone. Today we're going to be doing a short glute focused workout. Should be about 20-ish minutes, and we're going to start on our backs. So you can meet me there, bringing your knees to bent, your feet to flat. And we're going to just take a couple deep breaths to start, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. As you inhale, think about your ribs expanding through the sides, through the back, and then gently exhaling through the mouth. Next time you exhale, you're going to take a pelvic tilt. So you're going to tilt your tailbone towards the ceiling, imprinting your lower back to the mat, and then coming back to your neutral spine. So shoulders are relaxed as you tilt your tailbone forward, decreasing the space between your lower back and the mat, and then coming back to neutral, just tilting forward and back, staying light on your feet, and thinking about that movement coming from your core rather than gripping your feet or gripping your shoulders. Becoming aware of where your neutral spine is. And thinking about pulling your belly up and in as you tilt your tailbone forward and then come back to neutral. Next time you tilt your tailbone forward, you're going to roll all the way up to a bridge. So one bone at a time, you're rolling your hips to a bridge. Knees are pulling forward, glutes are on, ribs are down at the top, and then you're going to roll down one bone at a time, slower than you want to. And we're going to move through this a few times. Taking an inhale at the bottom, exhaling to tilt your tailbone forward and rolling up one bone at a time. Inhaling at the top and exhaling to roll down one bone at a time. Knees stay facing forward. Almost imagine like you have a ball or something between your knees that you're holding on to. Keeping some space between your chin and your chest. Good. And next time you're at the bottom of your hip roll, you're going to stay here. You're just going to open your right knee to the side and then bring it back. You're going to alternate here, opening one leg at a time, keeping the other hip as still as possible. So maybe take your hands to your hips to get some feedback. As you open one side, you're staying stable through your core. Nothing else is rocking except the one knee that's opening. So your core is keeping you stable here as one knee opens at a time. One more each side. And then you're going to open both knees at the same time. So you're opening both knees and just tuning into how that feels different than one knee at a time. There's a bit more balance as the knees open to both sides, keeping you even. Two more knee opens here. And one. Good. And then if your hands are on your hips, you're going to place them beside you. You're going to take your right leg to a hover, keeping your light on your left leg, but your right leg is just above the mat. And you're going to extend your knee forward like you're pushing something heavy away from you, and then bring it back in. So you're extending your leg forward, keeping it only 1 inch from the ground, and back in. And the job of your hips is to keep you steady here. So you're not shifting side to side. Your hips are staying level. Take one more. And then we're going to adjust slightly. So when you bring your leg back in, you're going to open your knee out to the side, keeping your heel in line with your hips. So you're in external rotation. You're going to extend your leg out, and then you're going to find parallel, bringing the kneecap back towards the ceiling as you bring the foot back to meet the other foot. So you're opening up, finding external rotation. In that rotation, you're extending the leg out, finding parallel, and then bringing it back in. Two more, opening the knee, keeping the left hip steady, level. The only thing moving is the right leg. Opening the knee out, extending it forward slowly, bringing the kneecap towards the ceiling, and then bringing it back in, placing that foot on the ground. We're going to move to the other side. So you're going to hover the left leg above the mat and extend the leg out and bring it back in. Your foot is only 1 inch above the ground, pushing something heavy away from you. So there's no resistance here. You're going to create the resistance yourself by imagining like you're pushing through something heavy. Extending your left leg out and back in and out and back in. Next time you're in, we're going to add the hip opener. So you're opening your knee to the left, and then you're extending the leg out in external rotation, bringing the kneecap back to face the ceiling, and then bringing it in. Opening the knee out, keeping the foot in line with the hip as you extend it out. Bring the kneecap towards the ceiling and bring the leg back in. Two more here. Keeping the right hip steady. So you're not shifting side to side. The only thing moving is your left leg. Opening your knee out, extending forward, and bringing it back to center. Bring the left leg back to the ground, and maybe take a windshield wiper side to side. Okay, you're going to find your feet flat on the ground, about hip width apart. You're going to take a tilt of your tailbone, like we were doing before. This time you're going to lift up to bridge, not one bone at a time. You're hinging at the hips. So your ribs are down at the top, your glutes are engaged, your knees are pointing forward, pulling away from you. And then you're going to lower down to a hover and lift back up. Lower down to a hover and lift back up. At the top, you're squeezing your glutes, keeping your spine in neutral. Next time you come to the top, can you open one leg to the side, bring it back to center, and lower down? As you come back up to bridge, you're opening the left leg to the side, come back to center, and back down. So we're alternating leg opening to the side and back to center, back down. As we get to the top of our bridge, we're opening one leg at a time. We're going to take one more each side. So as your knee opens, your hips are staying center. Good. And next time we come up, we're going to meet in bridge. We're going to open both knees to the side and come back in. So same thing we were doing before, but our hips were on the ground. Now they're in the air. Feels a little different. Shoulders are relaxed. Last two. Last one. Keeping your knees wide here, so we're meeting with our knees wide, we're going to lower and lift our hips. So our knees are staying wide as we lower to a hover and lift, engaging our glutes at the top. Last two. Last one. Bringing your feet flat on the ground, knees pointing in front of you, and you're just going to roll yourself down. We're going to take a second here, hug your knees into your chest, and shift side to side. Okay, one more thing in bridge here. So you're going to place your feet flat on the ground again. You're going to take a tuck of your tailbone and lift up to bridge once again. Feet are pressing through the ground. Knees are pulling away from you. Can you bring all your weight to your left leg and lift your right knee to tabletop? You're going to lower the right leg down and lift your left leg to tabletop. Alternating here, which leg lifts, trying to keep the rest of your body as still as possible, just the one leg lifting and then the other. Your grounded foot is keeping you stable. Always option to bring your hands to the ceiling for a little bit more work. We're just marching here. And next time your right leg is in tabletop, we're going to hold there. Right leg is in tabletop, left, all the weight is in the left glute. We're going to lower and lift on the left leg, right leg staying in tabletop. Last 3, 2, 1. Hips are high, and we're going to lower and lift the leg. Keeping the knee bent, you're just lowering and lifting the leg, keeping the hips up. Last 2, last 1. Good. And then you're going to place your leg on the ground, come down for a second. Take your left leg over your right thigh and take a figure 4 stretch, maybe keeping your right foot on the ground, maybe hugging it in towards you and shifting side to side. And when you're ready, you're going to place your feet back on the ground. Take a tuck of your tailbone, lift up to bridge again. This time, we're going to bring all our weight into our right foot, lifting our left leg to tabletop. So we're meeting with our left leg in tabletop, right foot is grounded into the mat, and we're going to lower our hips and lift. One leg bridge. One more lift here. And then we're going to pause at the top, glutes engaged, finding your balance. You're going to take your left leg, tap it down, and then bring it back up to tabletop. So you're lowering and lifting your left leg, keeping your hips high. Last 2. Last 1. And then you're going to bring that left leg down, roll your back down to the mat, and then bring your right leg over your left thigh. Either keep it there for a stretch or pull it in towards your chest. And then you're going to release the stretch. Then you're going to roll onto your right side. So you can bring your hand under your head. You can rest your head all the way down. Do what works for you, what feels good for your neck. You're going to bring your knees to bent. Your feet are in line with your hips. And you're just going to pull your top hip away from your ribs. So through these exercises, not letting your hip hike up to your rib, you're staying in your neutral spine. Can you find a little clamshell, opening the knee and closing? Opening the knee and closing, keeping your chest open. And your top hip isn't opening. Imagine like you have 2 laser beams coming out of your hips. They're both facing the front of the room. It's not pointing towards the ceiling as you open your knee. Last one. And then you're going to hover your leg. You're going to take your knees to meet, find center, feet meet, find center. So in between, your leg is in a hover, and then your feet come together, hover, knees come together, hover. So you're finding external rotation and then internal rotation. Last two. And last one. Good. Keeping that hover of the leg, can you extend it behind you to the back corner of your mat? And you're going to extend the front arm in front of you, or sorry, the top arm in front of you. You're going to reach the arm and leg away from each other and then bring them in to meet in the center. So you're going to reach the arm and leg away from each other, gaze comes toward the mat, and then bring it back to center. Extending like you're making a diagonal line, back to center, knee and elbow meet in the middle, and then extending, reaching away from each other, and back to center. Good. Bringing your top leg on top of your bottom leg, both knees are bent. You're going to come onto your forearm. Take your top arm either to your hip or to the sky. Do what works for you. I like it on my hip. And you're just going to lift up and lower. So you're lifting into a side plank, but imagine like you're bridging here. So your hips are coming forward as you lift your hips, lifting them up off the mat and forward. Your right forearm is keeping you grounded, pressing into your right forearm. Maybe take your gaze to your hand if your neck is bothering you. Good. Next time you come to the top, can you find a clamshell and lower? So we're lifting up, opening that top leg, closing it, and lowering. Working through our obliques, through our glutes. Keeping the chest open. Last two. Last one. And then you're going to push yourself up, finding a mermaid stretch. You're going to take your legs 90-90 or stack them one on top of the other. And you're going to take your arms over towards the left, finding a nice reach towards the left, feeling the stretch through the right side of the body. And then you're going to come back up, swing your legs around, and come to the left side. Okay, so you're going to bring your head to your hand, or maybe you're resting all the way down onto your arm. You're going to take your knees in front of you, feet are in line with your hips. Pull your hip away from your ribs. So you're keeping that length through your upper side body as we go through our clamshells. You're going to open your knee and close it. As you open, both hip bones are facing the front, so your hips aren't opening with you, just the knee is opening. Hips are stacked one on top of each other. Last two. Last one. And then you're going to find a hover of your top leg. Bring your knees together, feet apart, and then feet together, knees apart. Alternating here, knees together, feet apart, feet together, knees apart. In the middle, your leg is finding a hover. So it's never fully resting here. Internal rotation, external rotation, remembering to breathe. Last one. And then you're going to keep your top leg hovered. You're going to extend it back towards the back corner of your mat, and you're going to reach your arm forward to the top corner of your mat, making a diagonal line. You're going to bring your knee and elbow to meet in the middle, and then you're going to extend out in a diagonal, bringing your gaze towards the mat, finding a nice reach, and then bringing it back to center. Extending out, gaze comes to the mat, and then back to center. And one more time, extending out and back to center. Placing that leg down, coming up onto your left forearm. You're going to take your top arm to your hip or wherever works for you. You're going to lift up your hips up and forward like you're making a bridge. Same thing we were doing before, but we're on our side, working through our obliques. Up and lift. Grounding through our left forearm, keeping our chest open. Next time you come up, you're going to add the clamshell, lifting up, opening the leg, closing, and back down. Lifting, open, closing, and back down. Last 3, 2, last 1, and bringing it back down, pushing yourself up, finding a 90-90 with your legs, and reaching over to the right side of the mat. Finding a nice stretch here and remembering to breathe. And coming back up to center. Okay, we're going to find all fours. So your hands are going to come under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. So find yourself on all fours. And we're going to just start with a little bit of arm work because even though it's a glute focus class, we got to keep it balanced. So you're going to find a little tricep dip here. You're going to bring your elbows back beside you and lifting up. So you're just tapping your elbows and back up. Keeping your head in line with your spine and breathing. Last 2. Last 1. We're going to find our salamander arm. So you're going to bring your elbow towards your ribs and then bring it back down to the mat. Alternating arms here, lifting one elbow at a time, bringing it back by your ribs. Your chest is continuing to face the ground. And your core is keeping you stable here as you lift one arm at a time. Next time your right arm is lifted, you're going to keep it lifted. Can you high five someone behind you and bring it back down? So imagine like someone's standing behind you, you're high fiving them, extending your elbow and back down. Next time your arm is extended, can you keep it extended? You're going to extend your left leg out behind you. So right arm is lifted, left leg is lifted, opposite arm and leg. Good. You're going to bring the elbow back down. As you lift, can you lift the leg? So we're lifting the leg with the arm, extending through the elbow as we lift the leg. Last 2. Last 1. Can you keep the leg lifted? You're going to place your right arm back on the ground. Find your balance here. Bend your knee, and you're just going to stamp the ceiling with your foot. So you're lifting and lowering your leg. Knee is bent. For 3. For 2. For 1. Can you straighten your leg out? And then you're going to find a rainbow. You're going over the mat towards your right and then over the mat towards your left, making a rainbow over your right foot. Over and down, over and down. Your hips are staying still, so you're not shifting from side to side as you do this, trying to keep everything still except your left leg. Last 2, keeping your head in line with your spine, so you're not looking at your legs behind you. Last 1. Find center, bring the knee back down, and find a child's pose. Take a couple deep breaths. And then we're going to come up back onto hands and knees. Actually, maybe take a wrist roll if you need it. We're on our wrists for a little bit longer. Always option to come onto your fists if that's better for you, or your forearms. Okay, we're going to move to the left side. Actually, I'm going to turn around so you can see my left arm. And we're just going to go back to the salamander arms to start. So you're going to lift your left arm and then your right arm, not shifting side to side. Your core is keeping you centered as you lift one elbow at a time. Next time your left elbow is up, you're going to keep it up. You're going to high five someone behind you and bring it back to bent. High five someone behind you, bend it. So you're extending through your elbow and back. Your right arm is grounding through the mat, keeping you steady. Next time your elbow is straight, you're going to keep it straight. You're going to extend your right leg behind you, and you're going to bend your elbow. As you extend your arm, you're going to lift your right leg. So you're lifting your arm and leg, opposite arm and leg at the same time. Head is in line with the spine. Like you're high-fiving someone with your hand, high-fiving someone with your foot. The rest of your body is still, not shifting side to side. Last two. Last one. Can you keep your leg lifted? Place your left arm back on the ground. So both hands are grounding through the mat. Can you bend your knee like you're stamping the ceiling, lifting your leg up and lowering. Knee is staying bent. Head is in line with the spine. Last three. Two. Spine is staying in neutral, only lifting as far as you can without extending your back. Good. One. Extend your leg out, so leg is straight. It's coming over to the left side of the mat, lifting and over to the right side of the mat, like you're making a rainbow over the mat. Keeping everything still except your right leg. And breathing. Staying strong through your upper body. Last two. And one. And then find center, bring the knee down, and take child's pose. Maybe shifting side to side. And then coming up, we're going to do one more thing on our wrists here, and it's going to be a little plank. So we're going to come onto our hands and knees. Knees are under hips. Hands are under shoulders. You're going to tuck your toes under. Take an inhale. On your exhale, you're going to hover your knees above the mat, and then inhale to lower. Exhale to hover, staying strong through your upper body, pressing the mat away. Inhale to lower. So you're just lifting your knees an inch above the ground and lowering. Feeling your core engage as you lift and lower. Lift and lower. Good. Next time we lift, we're going to hold lifted for a second. Can you extend your right leg out, extend your left leg out, find a plank, option to come to your knees, option to come to your forearms. We're going to hold here. Glutes are engaged for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees come down to the ground. Hips find the heels, reaching forward. Take your arms to the left side. Find center. Take your arms to the right side. Find center. And then you're going to walk yourself up And that's all for today. Thanks so much for joining.